lot of old people, they just throw away the last years of their life by being depressed.
I think you're going to touch a lot of hearts around the world with this, so congrats on that. I know this is very personal, especially for you, Filip, since it's your father, obviously. And can you tell me a little bit about what made you want to put this into film, this very personal experience, and how it all came to be?
That was not my intention. I've been noticing, my dad since retirement, he's been just more and more depressed for each year, and a couple of years ago, he was at that point when my mom called me as well and said, like, I don't know how long I can take this because it's really tough. I felt like I need to do something. Is there any way I could make him happy again, or at least somewhat happier? I thought, like, maybe I should go on a road trip with him, the same road trip we always did when I was a child, from Sweden to France, because those road trips are only associated with, fun, happy times. So that was the idea. And then I talked to Fredrik, because Fredrik is not only someone I work with, he's also my best friend, and we talked about this. Then for some reason we said, like, maybe we should, is there a film here? Maybe people can relate to this. It was all like very improvisational in a way. We just started to film.
And why make it a documentary and not a fiction film based on true events?
We are terrible writers. We've done so many documentary things, and we've done a feature film was based on true events as well. We're suckers for reality. To me, knowing Filip's dad, who I've known for as long as I've known Filip, nobody could be a better version of him than he is. He's so lovable. He's so eccentric and original. So I just felt when Filip told me about this trip, I felt like I want to know how this is going to end. Is this going to work? So for us, our first impulse is not to write something, it's to film something.
There's something to talk about here. I think about old people and depression, which I think is really, it's lost somewhere. We talk about, mental health a lot just in general, but there's something about, people when they retire, when they're not needed anymore, when they lose their context, when they don't go to work every day. It's tough for a lot of people, especially men. And it's sad that, because the consequence of that is that a lot of old people, they just throw away the last years of their life by being depressed.
Fredrik, how was it for you to experience this as a little bit of an outside perspective, watching Filip and his dad? How was it for you?
And at first I was wondering what my part was going to be really, but it dawned on me pretty quickly that I'm a little bit like the representative of the audience in a way. I can ask the questions that audiences might have. I realized during this trip that this trip is as much about Filip as it is about his dad, that this is about Filip realizing that you can't go back in time, that you have to accept the present and the way his dad is now. We wanted to stage things for the benefit of his dad's experience, having a great trip. I became like a helper, emotional support animal, and best friend, and so I had many different parts.
Sometimes you need someone to tell you what you see, but you don't, you're not ready to sort of embrace it. You need someone to tell you,
A
no.
truth sayer.
A lot of our audience are aspiring filmmakers, so if you could say something or give an aspiring filmmaker a couple tips, what would you say?
That's hard, but I think we didn't have any financing. We're in a position where we could film anyway. If you're a documentary filmmaker or if you're a feature filmmaker, I mean, you need to have some kind of a plan, but you shouldn't stick to the plan. You should be able to. We always love the happy accidents or unhappy accidents, and being able to embrace that and not stick to the roadmap, because the roadmap is something you prepared many weeks ago in a different city. And once you're in the thick of it, in the reality of shooting, you need to be open for improvisation, because that you can reach.
But if there's an accident, you shouldn't turn off the camera. No. Let the camera roll, because I think that's really important. And also, if you're making documentaries, I think at least, you don't need to only be a fly on the wall. No. You can also plan stuff. You can stage stuff.
And also, use humor. We took a heavy topic here. We wanted it to be entertaining and funny, because that's what life is. Don't shy away from the humor if you can.